There I was around midnight Pacific time, getting ready for a peaceful sleep. When bam, Ryozo-san is here to deliver some incredible news and also prevent me from sleeping particularly well. That's right. Last night we were told about a second beta happening for Monster Hunter Wilds that we will be able to participate in starting February 6th. Not only that, but we will have a brand new returning monster to fight, Gypceros. This blew my mind because this is just a monster reveal right there. Right there in a beta announcement, there is a monster reveal. Now, I have now learned that the files for this monster were already in beta 1, and this was leaked, but as I always say, I don't look at leaks. No hate to anyone who does look at them, as long as you're making sure not to accidentally spoil things for people. I just don't want to personally look at them, as I highly value the first time playthrough of video games. Anyways, I want to talk about this monster a little bit and also theorize on what their presence means for other potential monsters coming back to Monster Hunter with Wilds. So if you want to just hear that information, you can just use the timestamps on the video, because before we do that, we do have some information for the beta to go through. First and foremost, it is very important to understand that this second beta will not have the changes that were discussed during the community update video, which I'll have linked if you missed it. The Monster Hunter team has been very specific to say that the second beta's main reason for existing is that a lot of people didn't get to play the first one, and us addicts wanted to play more, and that's why we're getting a second one. So things like the performance, hit stop, insect glaive, switch axe, lance, and bow adjustments are not in here. We've said many times in videos and streams that it just seems really like we wouldn't be getting another beta or demo with those changes, considering that the press who flew to Capcom in Osaka to give us that new Scarlet Forest gameplay were playing on dev builds and didn't have all of these changes in yet. It just doesn't seem possible to have the dev time to whip up a new beta demo for us with these changes and make sure everything is good for the final game. There's just not enough time. So please help spread the word to people about what this beta is, because I know for sure this beta is going to be used as representing the final product, especially with it being so close to launch. What do you guys think about this? I personally think it's great that they're giving us a second beta that seems to not have really been planned, but I do think this beta may end up causing some negative discourse around the game. Hopefully people will realize it's called beta and not a demo, but I totally understand why people would go, oh, it's literally coming out in a few weeks and it's still performing like this, and not know that it's an old build. But ultimately, I'm happy that they're giving us fans and future fans another time to experience the game. Now, what will we be doing in the beta? We will be able to have full access to Character Creator. If you did make a character in the last beta, that character will be carried over. So you can choose to update them if you like, or you can just start a fresh character. Gameplay data, however, does not carry over between betas or the final game. It's just your created character and your palico. You will experience that first story mission again, where Alma will ask you questions about your weapon and you go on the Doshaguma hunt. From there, you're free to hunt Balahara, Chatakabra, Raydao, and this new monster that's being added, Gypceros. That's not all though. If you go to the Monster Hunter Wilds website, they have information about Open Beta Test 2. It gives us the dates, blah de blah de blah. Scroll down though, and you get to see a little bit about what content is coming here. Now, it says, of course, we're going to get all of the content for the first open beta test back in November, and you'll be able to hunt Gypceros. But then it says, and other new content that will be revealed at a later date. Very suspicious. My guess is during the first part of this second beta test, which runs from February 6th to the 9th, that's where we're just going to have Gypceros, and that's what we're going to have. But for this second one, which goes from February 13th to the 16th, that's when we're going to get this new content, which does make sense because at that point, we're like less than 2 weeks away from launch. And I don't know what it's going to be. I have some theories what it could be, which would make a lot of sense in what we're about to talk about. But I don't know. What do you guys hope it's going to be? I honestly hope that it's not Arkveld. Historically, we do fight the flagship monster, but I really don't want to fight him in a beta because of how mysterious he is. I want to kind of keep that to finding him in the story. But either way, I am so freaking happy. I'm just happy to be able to play again because other games are great. I enjoy them. But man, I'm getting to the point where I'm finding it really hard to fully embrace other games because I just want to play Wilds. Now, before we end the video, I want to take a little bit more time to talk about our returning monster Gypceros and what I think that second content drop for the open beta might be. Gypceros is a bird wyvern that was first introduced in Monster Hunter Freedom 2, if memory serves me well. And as we saw in the video, he does disorienting flashes. For those of you who have started playing in World, think similar to Tsuyaku. And also seen from the short video that we saw, he does have poison attacks. There is something else to this monster which they do show, but I don't want to show you and I don't want to talk about it because I want as many people to experience it without knowing. Now grab onto your favorite conspiracy hat because we're delving into What's Crazy Time, which I need to make a better name for that because I do it so often it needs a name. There have been theories about a Monster Hunter 4 Temnoceran returning called Nursilla since the Oil Well Basin trailer. As in the rooftops of the Oil Well Basin, you can make out slightly, I know the picture's bad, listen, we do our best. You can make out some what appears to be webbing. And we only have 3 Temnoceran, also known as spiders, if that's easier, in the entire series. Lalabarina, which is a new one, and she's in the Scarlet Forest. Ragnakadaki, who doesn't really create web nests. I like to think of her more as like a swinging spider woman who throws her children at you. And then you have Nursilla, who definitely creates these web nests. A theory that I always stated is that in Wilds, we will have Monster Hunter type set bonuses for armor. So for example, you can have 2 different Wyvern monster armor on you. So maybe you don't have access to those specific monster set bonuses, but you will have the Wyvern set bonus active. And if that's the case for every monster, then we need to have at least 2 different types of those monsters. So there has to be another spider / Temnoceran. But now, however, I think she is all but confirmed to be returning because of Gypceros. Nursilla is a spider whose main prey is Gypceros, and she will rip off their skin to wear it as a cloak to provide better camouflage as well as protect her from certain attacks. Gypceros has really good defense against like blunt damage and electrical damage, so she uses it for that. She also gets her poison capabilities from Gypceros. So this is a whole lot of information that really does point to Nursilla being in Wilds, and I'm not gonna lie, if we load up that second beta test and they're like, Nursilla is here, I'll go, yep, that makes sense. Now, granted, the presence of Gypceros doesn't necessarily mean Nursilla is here. It's more so that Nursilla's presence would mean Gypceros is here. But with the cobweb scene in the Oil Well Basin, plus our new returning monster, plus Lalabarina's walking animation is very similar to Nursilla. Shout out to Shincry on Twitter for this comparison. And Ragnakadaki, just in case you're wondering, does have a different walk animation to these 2. So, I don't know, guys. It's all coming up spider, let me tell ya. What do you guys think? Ramblings of a mad woman, or are you also believing that this seems very plausible? I think it's plausible. I don't think I'm crazy. But that is our information about the open beta test and a little bit of information for you about our new returning monster. I am absolutely loving that we're getting some of these older monsters that were not in World, because as we know, so many people started playing in World that this means that Wilds is going to be almost an entirely new experience for people who started with World because you haven't experienced these monsters before, which is super exciting. We do still, of course, have that breakdown video of the footage from IGN Japan and IGN coming up, but this video had to go out first. If you do want to check out our first reaction to the IGN video, you can check it out on the channel. I will leave a link. If you want to see the entire VOD, the live VOD is of us watching all of the gameplay and taking notes and zooming in and slowing things down, I will also leave a link to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like the video, please give it a like, and I will see you later. Bye.